Well, I'm Paula Williams, and I am an employment lawyer at GableGotwals in Oklahoma City. And I graduated from OU Law in 2011. I had clerked at GableGotwals and another firm, both of my 1L and 2L summers, and then accepted a position at Gable. So I've been at GableGotwals my whole career. I didn't always focus on employment law. I started out as a general litigator, like many do. And Ellen Adams in our office is another partner. And she and I really enjoyed working together. And we had enjoyed the employment law cases we were on. And we said, hey, what if we did employment law and what if we did it together? And Gable is really supportive of having people practice what they want to practice. They weren't interested in pigeonholing us into a certain area, which was great because Ellen and I were able to dive in, really learn the law in a deep way. And I've just loved practicing with her and seeing our employment group expand. And so that's where I've landed now. It's been very busy with coronavirus. It's lended itself to a number of legal employment questions. So that's how I ended up here. It's been difficult. Whether you're a large employer, medium, or small, helping people navigate which of the new leave laws apply to them. So there have been new leave laws that apply to employers under 500 employees, which in Oklahoma is most of our employers. Helping employers navigate family and medical leave issues who have previously not had to navigate those because they've been under 50 employees. And then dealing with really difficult decisions like, I have an employee whose husband tested positive for coronavirus or is presumptively positive. What do I do? Do I still have that employee come to work? Are they eligible for leave? If someone tested presumptively positive or positive in the office, what do I do? Do I have to notify employees? What can I say? What can I not say? How do I keep everyone safe? How do I let employees know what they can expect of me? And then dealing with the really heartbreaking issues of, I need to lay people off. I need to, reduce my payroll. What does that look like? And helping them connect employers to our tax group, who has helped people navigate the new federal programs available to businesses, but also make tough decisions about reductions in force and partial unemployment and total unemployment, and whether laying off employees versus reducing hours is better for the business and better for the employees. And so it's been tough. I'm not a healthcare worker. I'm not on those kinds of front lines, but in many ways, I feel like I'm on the front lines with employers making some really tough decisions to try to insulate those businesses so that they can make it through this recession and still have jobs for employees later. The Department of Labor is continuing to give us guidance. They are issuing frequently asked questions on their website that are pretty comprehensive. They've also issued regulations last Sunday. And what that means is we're able to give very good guidance about some specific situations that employers are commonly asking about record keeping, about what their obligations are, about the intricacies of the leave laws and requirements. But it also means we are constantly getting updates. I mean, we got another update from DOL last weekend on the FAQs in addition to regulations. And so if it's been a week since you asked counsel what you should do, it might be worth checking back in to make sure that's still the same answer. There are a lot of questions and there are a lot of answers. And the first place to check would be the Department of Labor's website. That's just dol.gov. So we have been home since March 13th. I had a meeting in Oklahoma City on March 13th. That's the last time that I have been out of our house, aside from having groceries put in the back of my car. So it's been a while for us, and it has presented a lot of interesting working remotely issues. Before I answer about myself, I will say for any employers on the line, as employers have more and more people working remotely, if you don't have a remote work policy in place, or you've never thought about one, you might consider one as a way to set ground rules for what working remotely looks like, what expectations are for working remotely during coronavirus, because that may be different than your expectations for someone working remotely when coronavirus wasn't present. Someone may be able to do part of their job remotely, but may not be able to do their whole job remotely. And so to the extent employers are on the call and are thinking, oh yeah, I have lots of employees who are working remotely, there are technology considerations, there are insurance considerations, expectations considerations. So all of that are things to keep in mind. For myself, I was already working remotely, probably averaging once a week before this happened. So I had a great remote work setup. Since my husband and I are both working remotely, he comes in here, which is our bedroom, because he likes quiet. I can work in chaos, so I can work in the middle of the action and the noise doesn't bother me. So we've kind of separated our areas. We have also separated our work schedules. I generally work 6:30 in the a.m. through nap time, which is usually about 1:30. And then he usually starts working about nap time, which is about 12 or 12:30, and works until dinner at 6. By splitting up the workday like that, we are able to schedule calls, schedule meetings during the morning on my part or afternoon on his part with a level of confidence that we are not responsible for kids in that time. So as someone who is experiencing their second recession in my adult life, some people watching this, people have war stories about the bank failures and oil busts, and this is one of our stories, right? And so the people who are just coming out, man, this is a paragraph in your story. This is not going to define your story forever. It is the start. It is not the beginning, middle, and end. And so I would remember that as a source of frame of reference. You will have a job. You will leave a job. You will start a different job, unless you're like me and you just stay at GableGotwals. But for most people, you're going to transition to different jobs. You're going to start somewhere and you might decide to do something different. And wherever you start and whenever you start, this is not something that is going to impact you forever. And we can do the best with the time we have. And that's going to look different for everyone. So I had a season in my practice where I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I made a goal of meeting with one person every month who was 5, 15, 25 years ahead of me, or more in some cases, in their life. Most of them were lawyers. A couple of them were not, where I was able to say, how did you get where you are? What did your childbearing years look like? Because I'm trying to work full-time and raise 3 kids. What did that look like for you? How did you decide that you wanted to end up in this place? I emailed CEOs and people who I wasn't sure if I would get a return email. People are so willing, especially in the Midwest, to mentor and to talk about themselves. Make use of the time you have. Don't be afraid to ask for the breakfast or the lunch or the coffee time, and lean in to OU Law. I mean, I have still been connected enough with OU Law in the last, 9 years to know that you all connect people, you all network with people, and you guys are still doing things like this to help widen people's community. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for advice. And again, it's just, this is this much of your story. And at some point, you're going to have this much story, and you're going to look back and you're going to tell people about what things were like when you were starting to practice during coronavirus.